So Aunt Winnie is Ma's dad's aunt from Ireland. She immigrated to Canada with Uncle Bob.
With Uncle Bob.
Her husband, Uncle Bob, was not her first husband, because she murdered her first husband.
Well, that's, you know, allegedly.
This is Aunt Winnie's soda bread recipe. We need flour, baking soda, baking powder,
And some
salt, yes please.
So do you not have your buttermilk at room temperature? You don't, that doesn't matter?
No, I just pull it out. There you go.
Eric has the touch. And Jean says her soda bread is no good.
Touched. So I need 2 cups of flour.
Do you warm up your pan?
Not before, no.
Is it fair to say you need 2 cups precisely?
I am a very exact baker.
They say you have to be. It's like science, right? Oh my goodness.
Somehow I keep, it's never taken me this long before. Alright, this is close enough.
No, is it close enough or is it good?
Well, see, now I'm questioning, would it be close enough if I was by myself, or? Alright, this is 2 cups, almost exactly. Alright, that's pretty much 2 cups. We're gonna call that exactly 2 cups.
Okay.
I can't work with this. I'm sorry.
What do you, okay, what would you like?
I use a wee tablespoon. I use a wee tablespoon.
I'll put this away then.
Sorry, I don't mean to be difficult.
Not at all.
So you mix all your dry ingredients together. Now we need half a teaspoon of baking soda. This is where our soda bread comes from. It's got baking soda.
What is with you guys having to take the teaspoons off of the ring to use them?
Well, you can only... You can't...
Yeah, you can.
No.
Yeah, you can.
You can't get it through that. Anyway, I'm not going to fight you on that. So we got a half a teaspoon, and then, because we like our baking soda, we go a little bit extra. Ooh. Just a little bit extra, not much. And then 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder.
And you're still using the half teaspoon?
Yeah.
So you'll do 3 of those?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just find rather than dirty another spoon. Now we just need a half teaspoon of salt. We also like our salt, so we'll probably do a little more than that. But not much more.
That's very bold of you to, you know, pour your salt right over your bowl in case it's, you know.
What are you talking about?
Well, if it chipped up and you ended up getting, you know.
Well, then we get a little extra salt. Alright, and that's all our dry ingredients. So I'll just give that a little stir. Followed by buttermilk. Where'd the buttermilk go?
Right here.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah, I'll put a few things away for you.
Oh, thank you, Ma. Give it a wee shake. And we need 1 cup of buttermilk. Beatrice buttermilk.
Or whatever you got.
I always use Beatrice.
That's because it's all we ever see.
You get Beatrice out west?
I think so.
Have you made it out west?
Oh, yeah. Alright, that's about a cup. Listen.
Listen.
Gotta be exact. Or as close to exact as you can get it without driving yourself mental. Give it a wee stir. I used to do this all with my hands, but then you make a real mess of yourself. So eventually you gotta get your hands in there, but I find it's fine to do it with a spoon for the first bit, and then... And you're pretty good. You just want to make 1 big lump of dough. Alright, that's about as good as we're going to get, so I'll get the dregs off my hand. Quickly wash my hands. Alright, so now we have our lump of dough. We're going to flatten it out. sure my hands are dry so I don't have flour sticking to it. So very liberally throw some flour down on the counter.
Is it a liberal amount, or is it thrown liberally?
Well, I think both.
Okay.
Because you want it to get all over the place and you also want a good amount of it. So you liberally throw a liberal amount down.
Okay.
And then very cautiously, you get the lump of dough out, sprinkle a little bit of flour on top. And now we just want to flatten this out.
How big is it going to be? You want like 1 inch thick? Is it going to rise in the pan? What's going on? What's going to happen?
I really go
there?
based off of, I don't go off of thickness, but off of size.
Okay.
And I just have a feel for the size. So.
Okay. And you don't want that pan on yet?
Well, eventually I'll turn it on. But. No, it tastes like it should. Your flour's good. And you want it to be nice and circular. But this is getting close. There we are. You get it a little bigger than you think you want it, and then you can press it in a bit. And now we're good to go. So now we quarter it and pop it in the pan. I guess I'll turn the pan on, but yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna let you get in my head. So just a butter knife, cut it into 4 quarters, roughly. So now I turn the pan on.
Is it go time?
Not yet. Gotta let the pan warm up a little bit.
Oh, Lordy.
So we're warming the pan at about medium heat right now. It takes a little bit to warm a pan. So some might argue that you should do this ahead of time.
Some might.
All right, I think we're ready for a movement.
So that pan is hot enough?
Well, I like it to be on a lower heat. If it's on a lower heat setting, I find it rises better. Whereas if you put them into a red hot pan, you very quickly cook the outsides and the inside is still raw and it hasn't risen enough.
So while that's doing that, I can get in there and tidy this up.
Yeah, we can do some tidy up.
Okay. How they looking?
I'm gonna reserve judgment. Oh yeah, they're starting to rise.
Oh yeah.
You flip when they're pretty much done on that side. So right now they're not even really close to done. You see that little bit of brown that we're getting on them? You want it to look like that on the whole side that you're cooking. Alright, so this is exactly where we want it. Maybe even a little overdone. This is roughly what we want them to look like.
Beauty.
Yeah, and the more cooked they get, the lower down you turn the heat. So we're getting close to a flip now. They never look quite as cooked on the second side as they did on the first. So for reference, this is what the second side looks like as compared with the first. We're still not going to flip it quite yet, but it's not going to get to, if we try and cook it to the point where the first side was cooked, it's going to get burnt. And we don't want that. It's time to flip. But we've already flipped once, so we go on to the sides. To cook the sides, yeah, first turn the heat down way low because it doesn't take long and it doesn't take much heat.
Cooking the edges.
Cooking the edges, I should say, not the sides, the edges. It takes a little bit of finagling to figure out exactly how to make them all stand straight up like that, but that is roughly what you want. We're getting close to another flip. You can see on this side it's nice and golden. So just take each one and flip it onto the edge that has not been cooking so far. And just have a wee look-see to make sure it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. And then if you're lucky, they'll still stand. Oh yeah, and this side's getting close as well, which tells me this side might be a little, oh no, it's not overcooked, it's just good. So we'll turn the heat all the way off, flip it onto the rounded edge, because sometimes those need a little bit cooked. You Getting them to stand can be a challenge, but really just the key is if it's falling one way, you flip it around 180 degrees and then it falls right where you want it to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't do much, but you see it just gets a little bit of golden brown.
I think if people knew how much you handled them, they wouldn't want to eat them.
Oh, I do a lot of handling. Yeah, I'm about willing to call that. Time of death, 11:08. So, once you're done, you throw it all back together on the plate.
Beauty.
And then you cover it up. And I cover it up right away. Do you cover it up right away, Maya, or do you let it cool first?
I cover it right away.
Alright.
I want to see, I want to see.
Alright, check it out.
Beautiful. That's what soda bread's supposed to look like.
Mm-hmm.
You remember when we were in Ireland and in the South and they just kept giving us like weird brown bread and calling it soda bread?
It tasted good, but it didn't
It
taste
didn't
like
taste
soda
like
bread.
soda bread.
And you know how we smell our bread in this family,
Yeah,
right?
it's actually got to touch your nose.
Smell.
Good job, Eric.
It's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, it smells fantastic. We're gonna eat it.